right, let's talk about Atlantis. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That's right. It's time for an Atlantis news update, beginning with the idea that there are several different ways that they might actually be about to reveal or could possibly reveal the existence of Atlantis. We're talking Atlantis disclosure. And yeah, there's multiple ways this could come about. One of course, is the Giza megastructure, which I am showing images of here, which would just be the most amazing thing if this could ever be revealed to the public. If they allow digging on the Giza plateau, if we can get other scans and other methods to corroborate this amazing structure that goes, a kilometer under the Giza plateau with interlinked tunnels to the point where they're calling this an underground city under the Giza plateau. Yeah, not built by the ancient Egyptians that we know. So somebody else built this thing if this thing exists. Obviously, we're talking about Atlantis, right? And of course, I'm using that as not just literal Atlantis, but as a placeholder name for any ancient lost civilization of, anomalous high technology. So yeah, the Giza megastructure, if they could unearth this thing or, corroborate this in some other way, this would be Atlantis disclosure, and that could realistically happen fairly soon. But that is not the only way we might be getting Atlantis disclosure. Jay Anderson just put out an awesome video about Saxsayhuamán, the great fortress on the outskirts of Cusco that historians will tell you was built by the Inca, but which really does not seem to have been built by any known human civilization, featuring this amazing megalithic construction that is found all over the world and seems to be a fingerprint of Atlantis, whether it was built actually by Atlanteans or if it was simply inspired by Atlanteans and they, gave, humans in different areas the know-how to build these sorts of structures and maybe some tools to do that with. Well, Saxsayhuamán was built with these methods, and there is ongoing excavations right now deep below the roots of this fortress. And what are they looking for? They are looking for a chincana. It is a labyrinth. And they believe they may have found it. In fact, that stone, here I'll take you through how deep that is. But this stone found deep beneath the roots of Saxsayhuamán, thanks to this excavation, looks like it is one of these megaliths that is part of the construction of the fortress itself. And if that is indeed part of an ancient underground labyrinth, we're looking at some sort of, indicator of the civilization that originally constructed this fortress. Might give us a clue as to, what they were all about. Were they Atlanteans or, something like that, some ancient lost civilization of high technology? Will this disprove that the Incas built this monument or this structure and other structures, and that something more anomalous and interesting was happening back in the day? And I say more interesting. Obviously, it's interesting if humans built it under their own power. But since this seems to be part of a global pattern of megalithic construction, all featuring some of the same hallmarks, then it seems like something even more interesting was going on, that this is indeed the fingerprints of some lost ancient civilization. And there you go. They found this stone, and they are going to continue to excavate. Hopefully, they will unearth this chincana, this labyrinth, deep beneath the walls of Saxsayhuamán, which will give us some insight into Atlantis. So there you go. There is another possible way we could get Atlantis disclosure. Check this out. Trevor Grassi sat down with two researchers of ancient Egypt talking about what information is encoded in the hieroglyphs, and they go into some pretty exotic territory, talking about stargates and stuff like that. But they also talk about how this stuff is indeed encoded, meaning we could decode information about ancient Egypt and whether it is indeed connected to Atlantis, as many people suspect it to be. So let's give a listen.
Now, here is the trick. No, most of these texts were written in Greco-Roman time, especially the Greek time in Egypt. And it was written with a very hard code. So my understanding that a knowledgeable priest didn't want to lose the knowledge. He wrote everything. Like the story also at Edfu, the one we call it Atlantis story. Okay?
Yeah, I
At
was
the
just
back,
going to say.
Yep.
yes, it was written with full details, but how much we know a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
Because it is coded. We cannot read it without the code. We cannot understand it without the code. So someone left all the information for us, but we need to work hard. We need to do our homework to find the code first, and then I can tell you that we will understand everything. All our questions will be answered about ancient Egypt.
All our questions, including stargates and information about Atlantis, could be answered if we could only decode this information left for us by the ancients. So there you go, 3 possible ways that we could get Atlantis disclosure. Because check this out, a million-year-old skull just rewrote the origin of human history. An ancient skull, warped and damaged by the ravages of time and degradation, may have just altered our understanding of the history of modern humans. Using careful 3D scanning and digital reconstruction techniques, a team of researchers from China and the UK has rebuilt the damaged artifact, discovering exactly where it fits on the hominid family tree. It's not the skull of a modern human ancestor, but that of a closely related human. Even so, its age pushes back the timeline for the divergence between the ancestor of Homo sapiens and its close relatives, suggesting that the origin of our species is several 100,000 years older than we thought it was. How does this relate to Atlantis or the possibility of lost ancient civilizations? Well, let's let Graham Hancock clue us in.
I mean, what we're saying is that the defining characteristic of the human being is the ability to create civilization. That's what we do that other animal species don't do. And the notion of a lost civilization didn't quite fit when we thought that our species was just 50,000 years old or 40,000 years old, as we did back in the 1990s. There isn't enough room in that 40 or 50,000 years to lose a whole civilization. But then when you have Jebel Hood pushing the human species back to more than 300,000 years, and then when we consider Neanderthals and Denisovans and Homo naledi and Homo floresiensis, all the other different human species who have a right to claim humanity and who appear to have indulged in cultural activities, the canvas gets much wider and much broader, and we go back into deep time and have to consider the possibility that the ability that we pride ourselves for, the ability to create civilizations, was present in our ancestors tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even more than 500,000 years ago.
So there you go, mainstream science actually helping us pinpoint the origins of humanity and giving further credence to the possibility of lost ancient civilizations. Personally, I really want to find out the secret to Atlantis because you find the fingerprints of this lost civilization everywhere around the world. Megalithic constructions that's thousands of years old. This guy right here, older than the pyramids, or at least the official date of the Great Pyramid in Egypt. Also, this is placed around the same time as the Coral Supe pyramidal civilization in Peru. This is from Ireland, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. This is Newgrange, Ireland. This megalithic mound built around 3200 BC. An incredible structure. I love the mounds. The mounds are so fascinating, and they are just found all over the world, sometimes tied in with giant mythology or giant fact, but also sometimes featuring megalithic construction that just doesn't make a lot of sense from what we know of the peoples of the time, but it does correspond to this megalithic construction that we see around the world. And it's super fascinating that this was built within the same general time frame as the Coral Supe civilization and also the Great Pyramid, at least the official given date for that. Now, the Coral Supe civilization did not build with megalithic construction, but they were building pyramid-like structures, which is super fascinating. At the same time, megalithic construction was being used in that area by a different civilization, and we don't actually have a real good date for when the megalithic construction in Peru was built. But there you go, thousands of years ago, they were building structures like this all over the world. We don't know why or who did it, but there does seem to be fingerprints of a lost civilization all over the world, and I, for one, really want some answers to it. I know you guys do too. Hopefully we'll get the answers under the Giza Plateau. Hopefully this thing can be confirmed and corroborated and even dug up. Man, let me know what you guys think about it all. Are we going to get Atlantis disclosure? Could it come from under the Giza Plateau or under the walls of Saxsayhuamán or in decoding ancient information from ancient Egypt or some other avenue? Let me know your thoughts on it all in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.